Good day, everyone. We are Group 4, and we are to talk about the assessment 3. So Charles will be speaking about the poem.
Let's start. The poem is entitled Sa Aking Mga Kabata by Jose Rizal. Whenever people of a country truly love the language which by heaven they were taught to use, that country also surely liberty pursue. As does the bird which soars to freer space above, for language is the final judge and referee upon the people in the land where it holds sway. In truth, our human race resembles in this way. The other living beings born in liberty, whoever knows not how to love his native tongue, is worse than any best or evil smelling fish. To make our language richer ought to be our wish. The same as any mother loves to feed her young. Tagalog and the Latin language are the same, and English and Castilian and the angel's tongue. And God, whose watchful care over all his flock, has given us his blessing in the speech we come. Our mother tongue, like all the highest that we know, had alphabet and letters of its very own, but these were lost. By furious waves were overthrown, like bancas in the stormy sea long years ago.
Thank you for that, Charles. So here we're going to talk about the how insights on how the youth today shows confidence and interest in using their mother tongue. So do the youth still value the language they were brought up with? So the first one to give their opinion is Charles.
Okay, based on the given question about the confidence and interest of the youth in valuing our native language, there are still Filipino youths who are encouraging and appreciating the beauty of our native tongue. In order to continuously develop the youths in using the Filipino language, the House Bill number 162, also known as the Multilingual Education and Literacy Act of 2010, was being pushed. This bill aims to upgrade the literacy program of the government by making the native tongue as the medium of instruction for the formative years of basic education. Furthermore, it proposes the use of the mother tongue as the medium of instruction during the basic learning years of a childhood, preschool to elementary years. The bill does not necessarily object the usage of the English language as a medium. As a matter of fact, it tries to maintain and balance learning of both Filipino and English for the students. And it also states that from preschool through the elementary years, all topics should be delivered primarily in the mother tongue. The time to gradually incorporate both Filipino and English as the medium of instruction is when the children are in the fourth grade, and the two languages must be utilized as the official medium by the time that they are in the high school. In connection with the poem, the line pertaining to the four language is the final judge and referee. It talks about the Filipino language, which is the spirit of the national identity of the Filipino youth. That's all.
So who would like to discuss other opinion? Makonte, would you like to go?
Um, the Philippines is one of the richest in terms of having a variety of languages used in the country, despite it being a small country. In fact, there are over 120 languages that are spoken in the country. Yet, we cannot deny that some people tend not to use their mother tongue for different reasons, such as many people living in the country are mixed races. Also, many schools require their students to only use English when talking inside the school and to only speak Tagalog when it is Filipino time. To answer the question, do the youth still value the language were brought up with? For me, yes, the youth still values their mother language, given that there are many people are still utilizing their languages in their everyday lives. Also, it is seen that they use the language when posting something on social media, wherein many youth spend their time surfing the internet. Also, the manifestation that can be seen wherein youth are valuing their mother tongue is that there are still celebration of Buwan ng Wika every year, which is celebrated every August. Moreover, I can see that people tend to learn the mother language. I myself, that always use Tagalog language, still is eager to learn more about it since the language now is changing and evolving. So there are some words that I am not aware of. While for the statement, how the youth today shows confidence and interest in using their mother tongue, today's youth is still confident and interested in using the mother language because they are still proud of it and it is manifested in a way that it is always used in everyday life. It is connected to the poem of Rizal entitled Sa Aking Mga Kabata because it talks about the love for the language. As mentioned, we Filipinos, especially the youth, should not forget the mother language and should love it because loving our own language means that we love our countries as much. We should always love our own.
Thank you. So, for my opinion about this topic, um, nowadays it is a no-brainer that our generation are doing what trending or that for me, we are more interested in learning foreign languages than our mother tongue. Tagalog is our mother tongue after we were colonized by Spain. But before that, we had our native language, which was baybayin, which means to spell in Tagalog. Most of Filipinos doesn't even know our native tongue, almost extinct. It can also happen with our mother tongue, which is Tagalog. As time passes and as people are becoming used to speaking and writing in English, yes, the generation is still using Tagalog in our everyday life. But it's because that's what we are learning in school and how we speak to each other every day. But now many people, especially kids, are trying to speak in English fluently as possible. Either their parents want their children or the youth to work abroad or because it makes them feel American whenever they speak in English, far superior than Tagalog. So these are just the things I experienced because whenever me and my closest friends hang out, we would always speak in English because we would feel like we can be more precise in what we are trying to convey in every topic that we would like to discuss. But to answer the question, there are events in schools where students are to make a poetry in Tagalog to learn the parts of a poem. Especially when I was in high school, one way to look at it was, well, in the LRT train. You can see the native languages painted inside the train. There are some words that speaks in Baybayin. So somehow that has come to my attention that we are still appreciating the old and new mother tongue that our country has created. It is a fast and evolving generation. We are being alienated by the culture of other countries. The youth is trying to evolve as well. Either they despise our country because of our government issues or they want to be better so they can use other languages besides ours when socializing because they see that rich and developed countries uses English language. So does the youth still value our mother tongue? Yes and no. Yes, because we are required to use Tagalog because that is what we know and now our tongue is already designed to speak in Tagalog as we grow up. That's why every country has their own accent when speaking English. No, no, because for me, I see a lot of people using English more in what they do in their daily life rather than using Tagalog, like writing notes, journals, speaking in classes, and socializing with each other. Jose Rizal wrote in the poem, "Whoever knows not how to love his native tongue is worse than any best or evil-smelling fish." In this line, Jose Rizal knows that Filipinos will use other languages, and that is why he said, knows not how to love, meaning we can still use other languages at the same time, still loving and respecting our mother tongue. This is true nowadays. For some, they only use English for work and in school. But at the end of the way, we are still comfortable in speaking Tagalog with our friends and families. So the poem itself is written in English rather than Tagalog. So from, I guess, not to be rude or anything about the task or show irony about it, the youth today has more knowledge in writing and speaking in English and than in Tagalog. And it somewhat angers me so that we use the mother tongue of our colonizer rather than our mother tongue. But as time passes, our minds are already conditioned that it's okay to use English in everything, and using Tagalog is just an option now that we use when we feel like it. But then again, many Filipinos are still speaking in Tagalog. But I think as our country keeps developing, deep Tagalog words will be forgotten. Only common words will still be alive in the future. Uncommon Filipino words will diminish alongside our native tongue. But as a result also said that to make our language richer ought to be our wish, the same as any mother loves to feed her young. What I think about this is that if we make our mother tongue richer, meaning we use it more often in everything that we do and promote it as well with other countries, it will also take care of us. The same, quote unquote, the same as any mother loves to feed her young. We are the young, and our mother is our language and our nationality. It is our identity. It is our. It is a reciprocal situation. That is why in Japan, they are rich in their mother tongue because they use it more often than other languages. They also try to promote their language to foreign countries, and therefore they have become popular. And due to its popularity, many people are visiting Japan because of its rich culture. So in that poem, the mother loves to feed their young. The language gave the country an identity, and it could be the same with our country as well. So that is my opinion about this topic. Thank you. Next, who would like to speak?
I would like to speak next. So my opinion on this topic, I meet young people with various mindsets and perspective as a Filipino youth. My attention was drawn to the fact that some young individuals who use social media mostly communicate in English with their followers, friends, or other young people. I seldom ever meet young people who confidently use the Filipino language to speak with their peers, even though some people use their platforms to educate other others about current events. Not all of their messages are understood by everyone because some people don't speak or understand English very well. And information written in English doesn't always serve the intended purpose of informing everyone. Everyone needs to be informed about what is happening in our nation and what issues they should be knowledgeable about given the current state of affairs. While I believe that every young person values their native tongue, there are some situations in which young people are instructed to speak in English instead of their native tongue. Most of the time in school, kids must communicate in English. The only time they are allowed to speak in Filipino are when they are taking a break or studying a Filipino related subject. Therefore, if they don't always speak in Filipino, how do they improve? Our language is its own beauty, and for us to appreciate that beauty, we should value and embrace it since it is who we are. As someone who is still learning about our language, I can state with certainty that learning our own language is fun. That's my thoughts on that.
Thank you for that. So who else would like to share their thought?
I would like to express my opinion as well. So, in the current generation, it is, without a doubt, that plenty of the youth have been using English more than their own language, which is Tagalog. Not only that, but most people in the Philippines knows and can speak the English language to the point that Filipinos are known to be fluent in it. Whether the youth still value and have interest in their mother tongue is a different topic. At school, where the youth frequent at, English is commonly used. With this only, we can already tell how English has affected our vocabulary. Moreover, as we all can see, the youth frequently speak English in their everyday lives, and even uses it accompanied with Tagalog, which is known as Taglish. Despite the fact that most of them prefer to speak in English, it is still can be seen that they still haven't forgotten their own language, as it is still being used until now. Now, do the youth still value the language they were brought up with? To answer that question, it is both no and yes. No, because English has dominated us for the last several years, and it is widely known that if you speak the language, you are able to speak to everyone, as it is the universal language of the world. In turn, everyone speaks English and has seen its worth. Furthermore, if you were to ask a youth if they can speak in straight Tagalog, it is evident that they are bound to speak at least one English word between their sentences. What's more, you can also see that most kids of the current generation only speak in English, while some does not prefer to be spoken to with Tagalog, and a portion of it will throw a tantrum if spoken. Going back to the question, it is also a yes, since, as I've said, there are still youths that use Tagalog and still want to use it as their own language. There are also those who seek to encourage everyone, not only their fellow youths, but the whole country, to speak and remember the value of our language, whether it may be through art, speech, or any of the kind. They see to it that the Filipinos will never forget its roots. Overall, the youths may be more fluent in the English language and they may speak it throughout their lives. It is undeniable that they will never abandon and devalue their mother tongue. It is, after all, an important piece in our lives as it shows where we come from, what hardships we faced, and how we overcame the said hardships. Our language is proof that we are our own people and we have our own identity to fight for, like what Rizal was aiming for to convey in his poem. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. So, that is our discussion um about the si aking about the poem sa aking mga kabata by Jose Rizal. So that is all. Thank you for watching.